Hello everyone! Welcome to today's stream. Today we are gonna be playing some more Astronarch, the new roguelike auto battler. So yeah, let's start a run. Last time we won a run with the gladiator, the cleric, the paladin, the assassin and the berserker, so I want to try making use of some different units this time. Brawler is interesting to me. We could use the bard maybe as kind of a healer. Applies bleeds. Let's bring the bard, let's bring the brawler, and I think I want to go with the Frostmancer as our final option. So, Frostmancer has relatively low HP and def, relatively low attack speed, high attack. Attacks against you, your attacks, and your active ability apply 1 frost. Passive ability. And the active ability is Frostbite, deal 100% attack damage to all enemies. For each stack of frost on the enemy, deal an additional 15% attack damage and stun them for a quarter of a second. We can stack up to 10 frost, so that could be a 2.5 second stun at maximum. Not sure how good it is, but it's certainly interesting to me. Then we have the bard. The bard doesn't do normal attacks, instead they apply a bleed for their attack damage. Has very low attack, def and HP, but a pretty quick attack speed and low MP requirement for their skill. And their skill, if they are in the front row, they will increase the attack of all heroes by 6. If they're in the back row, they will heal all heroes for 10% of their max HP over 10 seconds. Seems interesting enough. And we have the brawler. The brawler has solid HP, high attack, and medium defense. Pretty decent attack speed, and whenever they are attacked, they deal 30% attack damage to the attacker, or they gain a shield equal to 3% of their max HP before they are taking the damage. The skill is combo, deals 150% attack damage to the target. Second time it's cast, deals an additional 150% attack damage, and the third time it's used, stuns the target for 3 seconds. So we have some stuns in there as well. So yeah, let's start the adventure. We are on Corruption 1 now, so normal enemies will have more HP. So, as our starting buff, what do we want? 15% defense, attack, HP, or active ability cost. I like the idea of reducing the ability cost on this one. So let's go with the Magician. Caves, seek those strongest in health and speed. Slow, bypassing defenses and slowing attempts at healing, and this is use our mana against them. With the Magician, maybe that's a slight problem. We'll see about that. I do want to go for this elite, so we're probably going up here on top. Fight this elite, then maybe go down. And ideally we hit all 3 elites, but we'll see how strong we are. Let's start with a normal battle in the caves. Your attacks reduce your target's defense by 4 and speed by 2. Steal 50 max HP from your target for each bite you have taken. Resets bites. I'm gonna go with the Barn in the front line here, because I don't think we're gonna need the healing. Instead, the attack buff is probably what we wanna go for. So let's start. There is the attack buff, and the fight is over. Let's see, Fool's Crown. Attackers have a 50% chance to grant you a minor blessing. That seems good on the Brawler. Hero's Sigil. At the start of combat, you and all adjacent allies gain a shield equal to 15% of your max HP. Sounds fine. Enchanter's Tome. Gain immunity to silence and some starting HP. I'm gonna go with the Fool's Crown on the Brawler, and we'll see what these minor blessings are all about. We also gained Liquid Courage, 20 attack and 15% attack speed for a short duration. Salamander. Attacks burn your target and all adjacent enemies. Attackers now receive a burn. Maybe we want to get the healing this time. No, let's go aggressive. I think we can get them down before the burns become a huge problem. And that looks to be the case. Minor blessings seem to indeed be pretty minor. Arcane Stabilizer. The first time you are reduced below 35 max HP, gain a shield equal to 10% of your max HP and heal for the same amount over 10 seconds. That would help us make our Brawler tankier. Primal Thirster. Not a huge fan of this. When your target is defeated, gain some attack and speed. This one, on the other hand, could be nice. At the start of combat, gain 20 attack for 6 seconds. But I think I'm gonna go with the tank item again. So Frostmancer, we want to be able to apply more frost, so our frostbite is stronger. Attack speed helps us apply more frost. Attack damage makes our frostbite stronger. Not quite sure what to go for on the Frostmancer. Reduced MP cost would allow us to cast our frostbite more often. There are a variety of things that would work. For the Brawler, in terms of tanking, we mostly want higher max HP, so the shield we gain is better. Attack also works pretty well. We don't really want speed. On the Frostmancer it's good. Here let's go with the Arcane Stabilizer. Hi the Juke, welcome. Yeah, this game is pretty recent. Let me look up the release date actually. It has come out about a month ago. And it's a very interesting mix between roguelike and auto battler, where most of the game is choosing items and positioning your units at the right time. Starts pretty simple, but the longer you go on, the more interesting abilities you're gonna encounter. Spore Spewer applies poison instead of attacking. That goes over to adjacent allies, so let's move the Bard and the Frostmancer on the other side. They apply negate to us, which will prevent the Battle Ballad use, because this guy casts his spell before our Bard does. So it doesn't really matter whether our Bard is in the front or the back. But I guess the Bard is at least a little bit tankier than the Frostmancer. So in case our Brawler falls, that's probably where we want to have the Bard be. It does, however, not look like this guy is gonna be too much of a problem, although the stacking poison does eventually become dangerous. Maiden's Mirror. When you heal a hero by any means, a random damaged hero is additionally healed for 30% of the value. That could be good on the bard with in the healing mode. The Ascension Cloak would be nice to switch a target off our tank. And the Oaken Knot. Heal 2% max HP every 2 seconds. There will be about 20 healing per second on the Brawler. This is 10% max HP for all heroes over 10 seconds every 5.6 seconds. That will be about 100... 220 healing. Every 5.6 seconds. That's roughly 40 healing per second. So that's 30% of that is actually less than the Oaken Knot. But it does have better scaling potential for sure. Altar of Shadows. The heroes discover an ancient and ominous altar with a node energy in the air. There is an orb sitting atop the altar. The inscription reads, "Power is given as easy as it is taken in turn." Sosak, Grand Wraith. Take the orb, gain an ability orb, but all heroes lose 4 attack permanently. That's pretty rough. Destroy a random ability is upgraded, lose 10 morale. Or run, all heroes gain 5% speed next combat. I'll go for an upgrade a random ability for 10 morale. We can probably afford to spend some morale. We got the Frostbite upgraded. The base damage stays the same. It's only the added damage on the Frostbite that is increased. I'm not so sure that's really the best ability to upgrade, but it's better than nothing at least. Ancient Defender deals piercing damage to all targets. We might be in this fight for a while. At least we have time for the Frostmancer to stack up. They are resistant to stun, so the Frostbite won't be that good. Let's hope this goes well. We might have to use the Liquid Courage in case this is... The healing from the Bard is now active. Yeah, let's use the Liquid Courage. We might be able to save the Brawler that way. That was the stun. We have quite a few healings going on now. No! I almost managed to do it without losing anyone. 15 death increases your defense by 1 for every active stack of Frost. That seems like a great addition to our team, with the Frostmancer being around. We can improve an ability. Here only the second power gets upgraded. Bard just straight up doubles the power of his abilities. And on the Frostmancer it still only affects the bonus damage per frost, which is significant, but similar to the Brawler, it's probably better to upgrade an ability that gets all the parts upgraded. Flask of Flames, all enemies burn for 300 damage over 10 seconds. It's a decent amount of damage, but it's slow, so we need to plan ahead if we want to use that. Noxious Net. Your attacks reduce your target's attack by 2 for 10 seconds and apply Ruin. Ruin is annoying, but it's not the biggest deal. This thing will also go down very quickly, with just 385 HP and 5 defense. Poison your target for 100% attack damage every 3 seconds and reduce the defense by 10. I think we have to focus on that unit. I don't think we want the poison to be on the board. Let's do it like this. Focus on the net. Maybe we want the Frostmancer actually to be the one focusing on the Spore Spewer to slow them down. The Brawler should be able to finish the Noxious Net pretty early. 44. Doing 33 DPS. It's about 150. Might not actually be enough to kill that guy before they do their Poisonous Prick ability, which is really the dangerous thing in this fight. Okay, then we focus all the damage on the net here. Right, we do have to deal with Ruin as long as this thing is alive. But that will soon wear off. And then our Bard's healing can counteract some of the poison. No! When did our back... Oh, I'm an idiot. I had them all on the same side. And so the poison stacked on everyone. Oops. That was my bad. So I can't choose the Noble Ward or the Slitherfang Kunai and can only get the Serrated Ripper. Your attacks cause your target to bleed for 30% additional attack damage over 10 seconds. I guess I'll take it and put it on the Frostmancer who has high attack. Much higher than the Bard. Our morale is going quite low. We need a few perfect fights. I could duplicate the Maiden's Mirror to and sacrifice a Frozen Shell. Or I could duplicate the Serrated Ripper and sacrifice the Fool Crown. I don't think so. I think Frozen Shell and Fool's Crown are quite important to us at the moment. Let's move on to another elite fight. The Cave Crawler. Attackers take 10 piercing damage and has 150 frail defense, poisons the target and an adjacent enemy. Reduce the speed of enemies hit for 5 seconds. We want you to be on the other side then, I guess. So nobody else gets poisoned. And yeah, that's about the best we can do. Let's stack that frost. Bard has his healing going now. The poison is stacking up though. I think we'll be okay. Enemy's almost dead. We do gain stronger over time with the Brawler, especially using his combo ability. Tower Shield, I could see that. At the start of combat, gain 30 frail defense. So 6 stack of 5 frail defense. So that will help against the first 6 attacks and then wear off. But it will always grant the 75 max HP. Attack steal 1 MP from your target. For every 50 MP you expend, heal the weakest hero for 100 HP over 10 seconds. Then would synergize well with the Maiden's Mirror. I might want to take it just for that reason. Stealing MP from our target. Starting MP and attack. Attack isn't bad on the Brawler. Combo is not my most important ability. Let's go with the Brain Sage for more healing. And I will also upgrade the Bard's ability to the max. If we want the Bard in the front row, we probably have to switch those items around a bit. But there are certainly fights where that is gonna be better. Oh no. Think we have to switch our positions. The Ant is not a huge problem, that's just a healer. Let's hope that this positioning... We could use the Flask of Flames, honestly. That wouldn't be bad. Feel like this fight might be dangerous for us. What if we used... No, the items we have really wants the ball to be in the backline, right? But I don't want to prolong this fight. I want to end this fight as fast as possible. And the ball in the front line will help me do that much more so than in the backline. Let's see. Now we get the attack buff. Our brawler is most likely gonna die to the poison. But we should be able to finish the end with the other two. This does cost us another point of morale. Full plate armor, 22 defense. Or another arcane stabilizer. Champion's Guard, your attacks increase your defense by 2. Maybe this is what we want on the brawler. It also gives HP and attack. Kinda want some items for my Frostmancer to stack frost more quickly. But we would require something that gives us speed for that. A bard's damage is just abysmal. I mean, I should have figured that, but it's so much lower than I thought it would be. But I guess the bard is, well... Bard is definitely meant as a support character. I don't think the Fool's Crown is that good. I feel like these minor blessings are very minor. But I might be wrong there. Attackers gain 5 MP and grant you 10 MP. Heal for 40% of any enemy healing effects. And deals attack damage and piercing attack damage to all enemies. Do we want to heal against them? They don't grow stronger. So the longer the fight goes on, the better off we are, even if we heal them to some degree. Especially considering we stack Frost, we stack up the combo ability. So I think we are all about that. Long-term benefits in this fight. Healing 148 HP every 2 seconds. That's actually quite a bit. The Bard's healing ability has become quite powerful indeed. Starry Songbird. Your active ability increases your speed by 10%. That sounds like it could go well on the Frostmancer. Enchanter's Chainmail. That's a very, very good item though. I feel like it's too good to pass up. Providing immunity to burn is so nice, and once we upgrade it, it will provide immunity to other ailments as well. Apply 2 frost and apply 1 frost to an adjacent enemy. That not only doubles the amount of frost we can, the speed with which we can stack up frost, but it also means we can spread it over multiple enemies. This just doubles the benefits, and this doesn't even double it, and it's weak abilities to start out with. So I think this definitely goes on the Frostmancer. I want that frost to be active ASAP. Lizardmen. Attackers take 10 piercing damage. Their defense is reduced by 1. That is annoying, but not a huge deal. Deal piercing damage to your target and a random adjacent enemy. So having all on the same side seems like a bad idea. Enemy active ability costs are increased by 5 MP every 3 seconds. And reinvigorate all allies gain negate and heal for 25% max HP over 10 seconds. We definitely want to take out these lizard warriors as fast as possible. I'm not sure if we want the brawler to take all their hits. But I think this positioning works okay right now. It's probably the best thing we can do. Although we really want the Frostmancer to be attacking the other side, I guess. We could move over everything. So we could stack Frost on the Lizard Commander already. But that would leave this Lizard Warrior up for longer. Can we out-heal that? Not for that long, I don't think. Especially not with the Lizard Commander being in the back. Lizard Commander, I think I wanna be here and focus this Lizard Warrior down first. I'm gonna use the burning here, otherwise we die. We might still die. Yeah, no chance. The Lizard Commander is out healing the damage we do, even. Ouch! Royal Morningstar. Slows the attack speed, that's a stun. That seems decent on a unit where we don't care about the attack damage. Like the Bard doesn't provide a lot of damage, so the stun is just added utility. Your attacks have a chance. The counter is not an attack, I don't think, so it wouldn't be amazing on the brawler. Gargoyle. Frail attack and speed. We really should focus that one first. These hit all enemies, right? To all enemies and burn them. To all enemies as well. Silence enemies in the back row. Yeah, that's fine. Not really that fine, but... once we got the buffs on the Gargoyle down, we should be mostly okay. Right, the Frostmancer has the burn immunity. Bard is down, that's a slight problem. But the Bard... yeah, there you go. Another Frozen Shell. Defense Gauntlet. When losing 20% of your max HP to a single hit, gain a shield equal to 5% of your max HP and deal 30 piercing damage to all enemies. I hope that doesn't happen too often. Let's go with another Frozen Shell. I think this is one of our best defensive items we could have. I might switch it up a little bit here. Let's go to the Merchant. Avalanche. When you attack, if your target has 10 frost, remove all frost and deal 350 attack damage to your target and any adjacent enemies. I will immediately take that and put it on my Frostman, so that seems like a great way to scale their damage up. Apply frost to all enemies every 3 seconds, that is also tempting. But I think I want to go for an upgrade. On the Frozen Shell maybe? Or on the Avalanche? Yeah, I want to focus on my damage here. Let's get the Avalanche upgraded. 700% attack damage. That seems really good now. Some more speed to stack the frost quicker would be nice. Is there anything else we want from this shop? Noble Ward, Stun Barbs, Symbiote. That would be a decent item to make our Bard heal more. But we can't afford it unless we sell something. We could sell the Royal Morningstar, I guess. Let's leave it at that for now. I'm gonna go for another normal battle in hope that we can perfect this one. These aren't too bad. Poison again though. We don't have Ruin to deal with the Feral Druid. Think I want to switch these two, so we leave the Feral Druid up for last. I think this one is the easiest one to deal with. Although he does get stronger the more allies die. But still, let's try this. Ten stacks. Here comes the Avalanche. That was some good damage from that. Another Avalanche finishes the fight. Yeah, the Avalanche was a good choice. Now we just want attack speed on the Frostmancer. At the start of combat, deal 50% attack damage to all enemies and apply 2 frost. Nice. Cobra's reach, speed, and your attacks poison your target. Speed is what we want, poison not so much. Fenrir's Bane is also tempting. This gives us a head start with the frost. I will equip that. And onwards to the boss fight. The Deep Fiend is a boss, so resistant to stun, disarm, and silence. Terror. Enemies lose 5 defense and take piercing damage equal to 8% of their max HP every 3 seconds. Passive ability. Battle of the Deep, deal 50% attack damage to all enemies, apply disarm and reduce their attack by 5. We lose defense, take piercing damage. His pure DPS is not that high, but the longer the fight goes on, the stronger he gets. We also only have 1 target, so the Frozen Shell is a bit weaker, especially considering that we purge the Frost with the Avalanche. Maybe I'll switch in the Fool's Crown here. Or even the Champion's Guard to keep my defense up. Like, it will make the defense drain slower. Do we want the bar to be healing? Or increase our attack? I think we want the heal, especially with the Maiden's Mirror. Let's go. There comes the Avalanche. We are disarmed now. Yeah, that wasn't a problem at all. Demon Prison. Deal 100 piercing damage to all enemies every 8 seconds. Unique. Interesting. That's an item we could easily use on a bard. Life-Giving Chamber. At the start of each combat, take piercing damage equal to 50% of your max HP. A lot of heroes gain max HP equal to 25% of the initial damage and begin healing for the same amount. Still tempting. Crown of the Banshee, probably not. A unit can fight for 5 seconds when it's knocked out. Not that great. I think the best thing to get here would be the Life-Giving Chamber. In case we add another unit with high HP. Or in case we have to resort to a different strategy with the Brawler. Let's see. Alchemist. Attacks poison and grant a minor blessing. That works well with attack speed as well. Catalyst, deal 100% attack damage. Duplicate up to 3 poison. That works well with attack damage. Warlock. The first time each hero is knocked out, begin healing 2% max HP every 2 seconds and gain 10 attack and defense for the rest of combat. For each defeated enemy, gain half this effect. Gains stronger when our units die. Becomes a bit stronger when enemies die. That is a way to ramp. That would be a good finisher unit, like the last to get attacked. And Soul Reaper deals attack damage to random enemy and heal yourself and the weakest ally for the damage dealt. That scales very well with attack. We don't really have someone who scales well with attack, so that could be a thing. Severing Strike, your attacks have a 10% chance to apply a bleed for 200 attack damage over 10 seconds and disarm your target. Deal 150 attack damage to your target and any adjacent enemies. Deal an additional 150 for each time this ability has hit that enemy, up to 2 times. Can also be a way to scale with attack very well. Detonate any burn effects on your target, removing them. So attacks apply burn. We could switch the Brawler over to be... Now the Brawler really wants to get attack to make use of counter. Wild Mage is interesting. At the start of combat, gain a shield equal to 25% of your max HP. When you are attacked while you have a shield, deal 25% attack damage to all enemies. And deal... When you are attacked while you have a shield, 25% attack damage to all enemies. Wild Burst, deal 50% attack damage to a random enemy 4 times, cost 5 less MP each time it's used. We could make a Wild Mage with just mana and attack and just spam Wild Burst. Don't care too much about speed or the Arcane Barrier thing. That's also ramping damage. Honestly, I like the Warlock the most here. Let's add them to our team. I think I do want to build them for high attack damage and big hits with Soul Reaper for decent healing. One frost to all adjacent enemies and 3 frost to the main target. Improve the shield we gain when attacked. That's probably a good idea. Active ability, I think we want the Warlock. Oh! 2 different random enemies. Heal yourself and the 2 weakest allies. Not only does it double damage because it hits 2 targets. Well, if it can hit 2 targets. It also heals an extra target. That's a really good upgrade there. Yeah, I don't think I care too much about Frostbite. You're just going to use Avalanche to cleanse that frost anyways. Oh, we can't use that on the Warlock yet. Because we haven't confirmed them to be in our party yet. Let's see. 10 gold, 10% more gold from all sources. All heroes deal 20 piercing damage to attackers. All merchant prices are reduced by 15%. That's just better than 10% gold, right? Quite a bit better. Double the effect of potions is also good, but I'm gonna go with King of Wands. All merchant prices are reduced. Definitely upgrade the Warlock here. Wanna move the Fenrir's Bane onto the Warlock. Stack the attack on them. Serrated Ripper as well. If we have to have anyone in the front line who gets attacked, the Frostmancer is probably not the one. They all have really low HP and defense. The Warlock does at least heal himself, so maybe that works out. What do we have? Bleed you dry in one more ways than one. Corrupted and imbued with strong magical abilities. Test your fortitude and stifle your healing. We have two characters that rely on healing. Let's go for the alleyways for now. Let's see. You heal 30% of max HP or 10 seconds. And so that's 30% of total max HP. We have 2.k, so that's about 800 healing per cast. This will hit 2 targets here. They do have some defense though, so it won't hit for the full damage. Heal yourself and the 2 weakest allies. For the damage dealt. So let's assume it's about 100 on each one, 200, 600 per cast. Yeah. I think the mirror still belongs on the board. Life-giving chamber, you know what? You don't need your health, right? Your attacks reduce your target's defense by 10. Ugh. Heal 1% max HP per second for the rest of combat. Gain 5 attack and 5 defense. We should definitely focus on that guy first. Well, this guy is stealthed anyway. Deal 300% attack damage and steal a random positive effect from your target. Can't perform attacks. I think our best bet is to focus everyone on the brawler still. More HP, so the life-giving chamber is better. And let's start the fight. Think this should go well? First enemy goes down, we have a lot of healing going, this guy's frosted. Yep, that works. Forgotten Idol. Your active ability deals 75 piercing attack damage to your target. That would go well on the Warlock, I guess. If we stack attack damage. Mana Spring Amulet, gain 40% more MP per second. That will go on the Warlock or the Bard. Works nice with Brain Sage. Bandit Hood. Gaining Hidden can be nice. But I think I want to focus on my basics first. Royal Morningstar is another 10 attack. The slower speed doesn't matter, the stun is nice. We don't really rely on default attacks for the Warlock. It's all about his skill. Wretch. Start with a 500 shield. Attackers have a 20% chance to grant you negate and apply negate to themselves. That makes it harder to stack frost, I guess. Set magic, remove all of your target's MP and deal piercing damage equal to 3 times the amount removed. Are you... You're a bit slower than the wretches in casting, which is really bad. But the Frostmancer does increase their MP cost with their frost. So I think this layout should be fine. 92.5 DPS. I I hope the Warlock can survive this. Actually, we might want to add a Frozen Shell to the Warlock just for some extra defense. No burn is dealt here, huh? Sure. Can we stack the Frost? 5 stacks, 6 stacks. There is the Avalanche. Yeah, that was pretty easy. We do a lot of hits after all. Searing Edge, your attacks burn your target. Give speed. Saint's Vow, increase your max HP by 10 per second. Does not increase your current HP. I don't think we have a great use for that. I guess it could be good on the Warlock sometimes, when we actually need him to finish the fight. Then his Reaper ability will heal more because it depends on max HP. I'll go with the Searing Edge on the Frostmancer here for more speed. The burn damage is not really important, but it's kind of fun to have a Frostmancer deal burn damage to his targets as well. Karlchark, bleed damage with every attack and deals a lot of damage. Reduce their defense. Hits a second enemy with the same effect. I think we're okay with this setup. I just hope we can keep our Brawler alive, but that should be possible. Okay, there comes the stun. Yeah, that works. That guy needs to cast. Right. Scorch of the Waste. Your attacks apply Ruin, Frost, Silence or Poison every 3 seconds to your target. It could work well with the Frostmancer if we focus on speed, but their base attack is actually quite low. It could work well on the Bard, who has a fast attack speed but doesn't do much damage. This would give them a better use for their attacks. I don't mind our Bard's healing setup, but the Mirror could as well be on the Warlock. And Scorch of the Waste seems quite powerful. Symbiote would also be a thing. But let's go with the Scorch. And move the Mirror over to the Warlock, I guess. This one is hidden. Targets the back row, deal 400 attack damage and apply 5 frost. Don't want that to hit the Frostmancer for sure. Garboid. All enemies are poisoned at the start of combat. We can't dispel that, but I think we can out-heal it. Deal 150 to your target and move them away from their adjacent allies. By the time this hits, I think we should be fine taking over with the Warlock and having the Brawler tank the Sniper Viper instead. That seems reasonable. For every active stack of Frost. That guy actually adds Frost. So we might want to do this. To benefit from the enemy actually applying Frost as well. That seems fine. I hope the Bard will be okay. This guy's stunned now. Yeah, the Bard looks like he's gonna be okay. Forgotten Idol, your active ability deals 75% piercing attack damage. No, Sleetstone Saber. 5 attack, 5% speed. Your attacks have a 50% chance to both apply Frost and deal 3 piercing damage on for each stack of Frost on your target. Probably not necessary. Tundra Talisman. Apply frost to all enemies every 3 seconds. And plus 15 starting MP. Helps us get more out of the Avalanche. Maybe the speed is better. This is 1 extra attack every 5 seconds. This is 1 extra frost every 3 seconds, but to all enemies. This will hit 1 enemy for 2 and all other enemies for 1 frost. Attack supply burn is not very important. Starting MP isn't that great on the Frostmancer because his ability relies on him having frost. But we could put that on another unit pretty easily. And it synergizes well with the frozen shells. You know what? Spamming your ability more often is also good. So we could move these things over to the Warlock. Actually, I want a Fenrir's Bane around for some starting frost. So you are the frost supporter now, Bard. Helping our Frost Mage get more Avalanches and Cold Snaps. Frostbites off. We focus on the one targeting the Warlock. That seems like a good choice. I'm okay with the Warlock tanking this card shark for a while. They do have 800 HP, thanks to the Brain Sage and Mana Spring Amulet, both giving some max HP, so they should be okay. And we do have the Life-Giving Chamber helping out a bit as well. Life-Giving Chamber could easily, and probably should, be on the board. More attack here means stronger Avalanches. Yeah, that matters. Champion's Guard again, Rod of Casting. Your first 10 attacks grant 3 MP, plus 10% speed. Salem Shadow Boots are actually quite nice. Plus 10% speed, and I think the effect is quite a bit better than the Searing Edges. Let's visit shop. Helm of the Mad King. Attackers increase your attack by 4 and speed by 4. That could be very good on the Brawler. Although the Brawler doesn't scale that well with speed. Attack and active ability damage you take have 12% chance to be prevented. Also not bad. Starry Songbird. Your active ability increases your speed by 10%. I don't think we really need any of these items. But I do want to get some upgrade hammer action in. Mana Spring Amulet for even more MP. Maiden's Mirror for even more additional healing. Brain Sage, also more healing. But why go with healing if we can instead go with Avalanche and just destroy enemies? Life-Giving Chamber would double the health gain. That is not bad. 2 frost to all enemies every 3 seconds. Scorch of the Waste hits an additional target. Yeah, these are all nice. But what's currently really supplying our damage is the Avalanche. Look, the yellow part is the Avalanche, so it's a lot. Bard is still providing more healing even with all the healing items switched to the Warlock. Warlock actually has the same attack speed as the Bard, so maybe we should switch those things back. Like so. Starting MP is also better on the wall. Well, no, not really. It's good on either. Let's sell the Fool's Crown so we can afford another upgrade. I don't want the life-giving chamber to be on the Warlock usually. We'll have to see about that. I'll go for the Tundra Talisman, so we get even more Avalanche procs. Because that's how we kill enemies. We can't go to both elite fights here, this and that, because there's no room here to switch. So, which elite fights do we want to skip? The one that stifles our healing, most likely. So let's go to the top one here. Bandit Baron. Enemy active abilities cost extra, gain 20% of MP expended, remove a random positive effect from each, steal one of them. If an enemy doesn't have an effect removed, they bleed. I think we can just out-heal that guy. He doesn't scale. Removing the positive effect does hurt us a little, with the Bard's healing especially. But this guy should just be... Let's take a look at the Frost stack. 5, 7, 9, Avalanche. Yeah, we're dealing a lot of damage with the Frostmancer. That Avalanche, the early Avalanche was a really good pickup. Champion's Guard still interesting to me. Well, we already have one. I'll take a Noble Ward. In some fights having that negate might be important. We definitely want to upgrade the Warlock Soul Ripper again. So it heals 3 allies and hits 3 targets. Oftentimes there won't be 3 targets, but the further we go, the more targets there are usually in the fight. So, like here, we have 3 targets. So this is gonna be a decent heal. Maybe now it's time to move these items over. Especially considering that the Warlock will be tanking and these items do help with health. Like the Brain Sage and the Mana Spring Amulet at least. And the Life-Giving Chamber does not. The backliners are just using the Mug ability. And this thing uses poison. I think we'll be fine as is. These backliners will keep their frost stacks until they are attacked. So once one enemy dies, we'll trigger a chain reaction of Avalanche. Which is quite nice. Whirlwind Axe upgraded. Your attacks increase your speed by 4%. That's the perfect item to put onto our Frostmancer. Bound Elements though. Every 3 times you attack, apply Frost and a Burn. No, I think the Whirlwind Axe is much better, especially considering it's already upgraded. Let's replace the Fenrir's Bane. We could put that on someone else, like the Warlock, perhaps. If we wanna have a head start with Frost. Stubborn Fool. Apply minor curse to all enemies every 3 seconds. Hits a random enemy with their ability. And this guy... your target and any adjacent enemies burn. We just make you immune to burn and move everything else to the other side. Attackers lose 5 MP. By the time you will get attacked, the fight will be over. So let's go. There comes the first Avalanche and a second right after. Yeah, the Avalanche is so strong. Stun Barb, 20% speed, your attacks have a chance to stun. Not bad. Healing received is increased by 15% and some HP. That could be good on pretty much anyone who has to tank. Gain immunity to silence. That is sometimes very nice on the Bard or the Warlock. I'm gonna go with this one just to counter enemies that are trying to silence us. Gravedigger heals 1% max HP every 2 seconds, increasing each time. Getting hit by an attack will has a chance to reset that. That shouldn't be a big problem. Bury, the enemy who has dealt the most damage, will always be our Frostmancer with the Avalanches. Takes 200% attack damage and is stunned for 5 seconds. I think the Bard and the Warlock will easily out-heal the damage on the Frostmancer from Bury. No other debuffs? You know what? We're gonna prevent the stun with the Noble Ward. 2 negate. That should be more than enough to make sure our Frostmancer is gonna be healthy. Or rather, won't get stunned. Most importantly. If that guy ever gets to cast their ability. Crystalline Protector. The Staff of Combat gain 250 shield. Lower Safeguard provides shield as well. I don't like any of these. Well, I take the gold then. We get an ability orb. I think that goes on the Frostmancer. Again, increase the amount of avalanche procs we get. Because that's where our damage comes from. I think we skip this merchant and go for the merchant here instead. Take our time to maybe accumulate a little bit more gold. Toads. All enemies lose 3% speed every 3 seconds. That sucks. Deal 150 attack damage to your target and any adjacent enemies. Stun enemies hit for 1.5 seconds. That is also quite annoying. Let's move you over here. Let's give you the Arcane Stabilizer back. We focus down this Mutant Toad with all our units. Mana Spring Elixir. Cure all. Remove a random negative effect from all heroes. All enemies are silenced and gain ruin. That might be useful. They do reduce our speed over time. That is not a huge deal, except for our Frostmancer, who's the majority of our damage. Let's go with the front-loaded damage Fenrir's Bane offers. As soon as we get an Avalanche proc, the fight is mostly gonna be over. Avalanche is 840 to your target and any adjacent enemies. Do we stack Frost? Yeah, we do stack Frost on them with Fenrir's Bane and the Tundra Talisman. So yeah, I think this is good enough. Wait, we already had an Avalanche proc? Yeah, this is going quite quickly. With the upgraded ability, wow. I don't think we want another Frozen Shell. That's a bit too much. Let's go for the gold here as well. Like having another cure-all. We do want to stack up our morale as much as we can. Stink rats. Once defeated, deal 75% attack damage to all enemies and apply ruin. No. Deal 100% attack damage to your target. DPS is decently high, but nothing too crazy. I think we can ignore this rat. Freak of Nature. When below 30% max HP, heal 5% of your max HP per second. Not a big deal. Wild Lunge. Deal damage to your target and apply ruin. Gain 30 MP. Change your target to another random enemy. Yeah, we do want to finish these guys off as quickly as possible because they do change their target. I want you to not get ruin, so you will get a noble ward for this fight. Just to keep the ruin off of you for a little bit longer, so we have more time to heal you, so you stay healthy for longer. It should be it. Royal Arbalest. Your target enemies in the back row first. Your attacks deal 10% additional piercing attack damage. That sounds very nice. Ascension Cloak is also pretty good if we need to switch. We need the enemies to switch targets. The first time you are reduced below 35% max HP, redirect one enemy targeting you to their next target. Shadow Blade. No, I don't think that's what we want. I take the Royal Arbalest here, just in case there is a situation where we need to target the backliner specifically. I think it's time to upgrade the Enchanter's Chainmail to provide immunity to poison and bleed as well. It's gonna make a lot of fights a lot easier. I think we also want the Whirlwind Axe to be fully upgraded, so our Frostmancer can stack his speed even faster. What do we have? Odd Bean. Instead of being knocked out, heal 30% max HP and remove all negative effects. Can only activate once per combat. That is tempting. Warlord's Blade. Gain 20 attack and 15% speed. But you take damage at the start of the fight. That would be good on the Frostmancer as well. Things we can safely sell. Serrated Ripper. Royal Morningstar. Could sell potions. They sell for 15, 10. They don't sell for that much. Sapphire Pendant, 50 HP, increase your speed by 2% per second. If we didn't have the Whirlwind Axe already upgraded, that might be a better fit for the Frostmancer. But we do. Although the Whirlwind Axe also helps by increasing attack, nobody else cares about speed. Symbiote is still tempting on someone like the Warlock. But I think we have enough healing going on there, so it's not a huge deal. The Warlord's Burden is tempting. Instead of the Fenrir's Bane, I do like the Frost it applies, but we stack Frost so quickly that I don't think we need it. Let's get the Warlord's Burden then. Sure, you'll take 50% piercing damage, but that will be healed up by the Bard and the Warlock because they have group healing. And the 15% speed is very nice. 20 attack also makes the Avalanche hit harder. One more normal battle before the boss of this act. Wretch. Gain shield, attackers have a chance to grant negate. Right. This is the burn guy. We might want to put on burn. apply doom to all enemies. That shouldn't be that bad with the bard healing them all up all the time. To all enemies. This one only hits adjacent enemies, so we want to move the brawler over here. And I think we are all good to go. If anything, here we want to have a cure all, just in case the doom threatens us. Nope, not even close. Frostmancer just wiped them out with an avalanche. Hex back. Start of combat, reduce the attack and defense of all enemies by 20 for 4 seconds. That could be something. If anything, that's what we need here. Let's look at the boss. Ah, these guys again. I think we want to focus on Barber, that's for sure. Creek the Bloodthirsty, your target changes randomly after each attack. Shouldn't be a huge deal because we do have group healing. Although if we get the Frostmancer or the Bard targeted early, that might be a problem. If you have no allies, your attack causes the target to bleed. Then deal 100% attack damage. If you have no allies, deal an additional attack damage equal to the number of bleeding enemies. But you will have allies, because we're gonna kill you second and leave the Grog and the Brute for last. Deal 200% attack damage to your target, stunning them for 3 seconds and moving them away from their adjacent allies. They don't have adjacent allies, so that shouldn't happen. Attackers reduce their attack by 1. If you have no allies, gain 200 frail defense. Shouldn't be too bad. We want to leave this guy for last anyway, so the reducing attack doesn't matter too much. And then Barber, you always target the enemy with the highest HP. Your attack is reduced by 450 and you cannot gain MP while you have allies. So they will only hit with their auto attacks for 50. So they basically don't do anything, unless they're left as the last one standing, which would be the case if we focused on the top half of the battle first. And then they become very scary, because then they go up to 500 attack, and their ability gives them 40% speed, and if the target is below 50% max HP, they gain 30 MP back, so they would scale up very quickly. Which is why I'm taking them out first. We don't have to deal with burn, poison or bleed, because we kill Creek before he starts applying poison. So we can instead put on another defensive item. I'm gonna go with Frozen Shell, because there will be a lot of frost spread out over these 3 enemies. Let's start. The Silence and Ruin could be good. Well, they don't really... Okay, Frostmancer is healed back up, and now we target the other side and immediately avalanche all of them to death. Reverie Totem. Reduce the speed of all other heroes and enemies by 15% every 2 seconds. Of all other heroes and enemies. So put that on Frostmancer, we stop attacking most of the time, but nobody cares about speed other than Frostmancer, and we slow the enemies massively. Deathbringer, your attacks have a 5% chance to deal an additional 666 piercing attack damage. We don't have someone dealing a ton of just straight up attack damage, so that's not gonna be good. Shout of the Deep. At the start of combat, gain 15 frail attack and 15% frail speed. That's basically like the Warlord's Burden. As long as we don't get attacked, we don't lose that. The Warlord's Burden does deal damage to us instead, so that's a bit more dangerous than the Shout of the Deep, but also a bit more powerful. Hi peeps, welcome. I like the idea of having a Reverie Totem. That should make a big difference for against enemies who aren't using their active ability to do most of their damage. And we get the orbs as well. We have a lot of potions for the third act, and we should use them quite liberally. I want another tanky frontliner. We have used the Gladiator and the Paladin before. Ronin isn't really defensive at all, so we could go with either the Wild Mage or the Juggernaut, who we haven't used yet. The Wild Mage is about shielding. The Juggernaut is about max HP and defense. And stuns. Hey Chris, welcome! I'll go with the Juggernaut. Haven't used them yet. They have very solid HP stats. And they gain quite a bit of attack and defense once they get below 50% max HP. And heal a bit. Brute Force is a decent skill. Wild Mage could scale well with MP stuff, I guess. And we have a few items sitting around, although they are not bad on the Warlock, so... Yeah, sure. Let's take the Juggernaut as alternative tank to the Brawler. But we really want both of them to be taking damage because we want Rampage to activate and we want Counter to activate. So yeah. Let's see what we get. Gain 2 potion slots. We do have a lot of potions, but 3 slots should usually be enough. Deal piercing damage to attackers, not that great. Elites and bosses have 10% less max HP. That sounds very nice. Thanks. Yeah, the MT qualifier went pretty well. I couldn't stream it because we are not supposed to share our runs before they are over. So people can get an advantage by watching other people's runs. And yeah. I am planning to do the other 2 for fun, if I find the time. Tomorrow will be a bit busy, we'll see how that goes. Let's go with Death here. The 10% less max HP on elites and bosses should make a sizable difference to how fast we can avalanche them. Hunger for the magic of which they were starved. I think that's bad. I think the top one is really bad for us, but I'm not sure. The dungeon shouldn't be too bad. But let's stay in the middle for now. Ah yeah, these guys. And the Court Wizard, gain 5 negate and 500 shield. While your shield is active, apply frost to attackers. I think what we do is we move everyone to the top side except for the Juggernaut. Juggernaut can tank this infested armor. Let's see. You are applying... You're stealing positive effects, which the Brawler will have because of the Bard, of course. You know what? The Bard can apply his bleeding to this infested armor. That should reduce the slam damage by a bit. It pierces shield, the bleeding damage, so that's nice. What do we want on the Juggernaut? Noble Ward, I guess it's defense. Enchanter's Chainmail is a lot of defense, actually. And... Champion's Guard, maybe? You have very slow speed, though. That will be much better on the Brawler. Maybe we switch it around like this. Arcane Stabilizer. Arcane Stabilizer would work well on the Juggernaut, actually. I think. We could use the Royal Arbalest to target the Court Wizard, but we will be dealing AoE damage with the Avalanche anyway, so it's not going to be that important. This one goes on Juggernaut, 30% max HP, shield, attack and defense go up by 40. That makes a big difference. So does this. But I think I like it on the Juggernaut more. The Mighty Ability Orb. 400 attack damage. The stun doesn't get better, but that is pretty good. The Frostbite I don't really care about. We keep removing Frost anyways. So it's either one of our frontliners. This is just 90 extra damage each time the Juggernaut casts. This is gonna be 97 extra damage starting from the second time this ability is used. But the Brawler uses their ability almost twice as often as the Juggernaut. So I think we want to increase the Brawler's power with it. Sure, it doesn't affect the first use, but I can sell the orb for 100. Yeah, I could. That wouldn't be terrible, I guess. Frost, and here comes the first Avalanche. Oh, our Brawler got taken out. That was much quicker than I had anticipated. These items don't mean that much to me. The Oaken Knot is okay, I guess, on the Brawler. Champion Scout is probably a bad defensive item. I should probably replace that with an Oaken Knot for now. Maybe have it like this. Healing Ward. That one sucks. This guy doesn't do negates, so the second Avalanche will kill the Healing Ward. I think we have it like this. Attacks reduce the target, deal damage, gain speed and 5 MP. Your allies gain 10% of MP expended by enemies, apply doom to your target, remove all shield. We want to switch you, or we want to switch the items, either works. I think that should work pretty well. There we go, avalanching them down. Royal Arbalest upgraded. Nice. Serrated Ripper upgraded. Not that useful. I'll go with the upgraded Royal Arbalest so we can sell the normal one. Or maybe we want to use both if we really want to take down a backline enemy. Let's move on. Well. Man-Eater Mantis. Your attacks deal double damage if your target has any shield. That's bad for the Brawler, so we want the Juggernaut to tank these. Deal piercing damage equal to 25% of your target's max HP. And heal for heal for the damage dealt. Steal 25% of your target's shield. Piercing damage, huh? I think the Juggernaut is a good tank against those. We don't need the Noble Ward against them. What does this thing do? Gain 600 shield, gain 100 frail defense, attackers take 15 piercing damage, and increase your speed by 2%. So we probably want to avoid attacking them too much. This affects all other heroes, not just the adjacent one. Wasn't sure. Deal 250% attack damage to your target and an enemy directly behind them. Move all enemies hit away from their adjacent allies. So we wanna be on the right side, top side with most of our units. And then there's the Cleansing Ward. Gain 500 shield, can perform attacks, remove a random negative effect from all allies and heal them for 5% of their max HP. Every 2 seconds that will happen. That slows down our frost generation a little bit, but it shouldn't do it by too much. I think this will be fine. Yeah, are the Avalanches going off? Yep. Crack Cleaver, your attacks reduce the target's defense. I don't think that's particularly important. All your damage is dealt as if the enemy has 15 less defense. That is not bad. Look at the damage distribution. The Frostmancer is really the lone carry of this build. For the starting MP, while ally is below, gain MP twice as fast. We could focus you first, so that doesn't matter. Deal 150 attack damage and stun your target for 1 second. Gain 100 defense for 3 seconds. All enemies targeting an ally below 50% HP change their target to you. If we focus on you first, that also doesn't matter too much. Except for the defense, I guess. You already have pretty solid defense. Court Wizards, negate, apply frost. I don't think that should be a problem. There's not a whole lot of damage coming in here. Reckless Dueling Blades. Your attacks deal additional damage to your target equal to 12% of your missing HP. This synergy with Warlord's Burden or Life-Giving Chamber is definitely there. Also gives us speed, but it's not really better than any of the items we're currently using, although it is pre-upgraded. Maybe we want the Fool's Crown, the upgraded. Attackers have a 50% chance to grant you 2 minor blessings. High Elf Claymore could also work on someone like the Warlock, I guess. I'll go with the Fool's Crown because I think it's gonna be a better defensive item than something like the Noble Ward for most of the time. But I think it's better on the Brawler most of the time. Elite Fight, this guy, what does he do again? Rotate your weapon after each attack, altering your speed and applying a different effect. Attacks can either reduce your target's defense by 30, strike twice, strike 2 additional adjacent enemy, disarm your target, or move your target away from their adjacent allies. Disarm. Yeah, I think we just tank it with Brawler. Doesn't deal a ton of DPS. And we should be able to overwhelm them pretty easily. Alright, target hits all allies sometimes. That is actually well with their ability. That is actually quite scary. But the silent spam from the Scourge of the Wastes did really help quite a bit there. Stun Barb, Slitherfang, Kunai, that could be interesting if we wanted Juggernaut to deal some extra damage. But I think we take the gold. We do want the Juggernaut and the Brawler to upgrade their abilities. I'll go for the Brawler's ability first. Do we want to visit this merchant or do we want to wait until later? I think we go for this merchant instead. Cold Wizard, Confessor Spawn, apply Doom. Juggernaut probably deals with Doom better than the Brawler. Although the Twisted Subject is also there. No, I think that should be fine. Should it? No, I think we want to switch it up. This doesn't make us immune to Doom just yet. This does prevent Doom applications though. Will only work twice, but there is the Doom. There we go. Forgotten Idol, Holy Charm, healing received is increased. That might be good. That might be better than the Arcane Stabilizer. You know, at this point we have enough morale. Let's go for some events instead. Avalanche does way too much damage. It's absolutely crazy on the Frostmancer. Interstellar Cellar. A paper-thin pitch black window materializes in front of the heroes, stopping them in their tracks. Something from the other side begins to speak in an alien tongue, cycling through various languages before reaching one the heroes are familiar with. Enchantments for battle. Trade is mandatory. Offer gold. Upgrade all items. Lose 690 gold. That is very expensive but extremely powerful. Offer power. Upgrade all items. All heroes lose 41 attack and 41 speed permanently. That would ruin us, I think. That would totally cripple our damage. Offer vitality. Upgrade all items. All heroes lose 138 max HP and 32 defense permanently. I think I could deal with the 32 defense, but with the 138 max HP, but the 32 defense is rough. Destroy. All heroes gain 50 max HP. All heroes gain 5 revenge next combat. That sounds also dangerous. Whew. 5 revenge, huh? Well, worst case, we just lose the next fight. Lose a bit of morale. So let's destroy. The heroes notice the window itself holds an energy which could be repurposed without the aid of the enchanter. As they begin to displace the energy of the window, a loud shriek is emitted before being silenced. We can also use the Cure All to dispel the revenge, but I think that would only remove 1 stack. We'll have to see. These guys are not too bad. I think we want to split our damage, have the Frostmancer take care of that side, And the brawler take care, the others start working on the other half. I think we should move the Holy Charm over. I'm gonna use one cure-all. Yeah, that dispels all the revenge, so that's fine. Tower Shield, Lover, Safeguard, and Impaler. I don't think we need any of those. Another event. No good deed. A man in priest's garb suddenly bursts out of a nearby door. Priest. Finally! I knew someone would come for me. I never lost faith. Please, if you guide me to safety, I will lend you the treasure which kept me from harm. Gain Wail of the Holy Mother. 2 heroes are doomed next combat. No problem for us. We just use another cure-all. Gain Wail of... Gain Wail of the Holy Mother. Lose 8 morale. Actually, we lose only 5 morale if we lose a fight. So that's like losing a fight plus some on top. So this is much easier to deal with. Well, if we lose a fight, we also have another problem, I guess. Gain Hidden. At the start of combat, gain Divine for 20 seconds. Losing Hidden removes Divine. Not very good for our build, at least. Do we go for the merchant, or do we just amass gold and then go for the final merchant? Take the top path here. Yeah, I like that. We don't need the power right now. We can save up. Spend it all in one go. Gain Hidden, gain Divine while hidden. Mana Crunch. Deal 150 attack damage to the enemy with the most MP and steal 40% of their MP. Shouldn't be a big deal. Bristol Beads, gain 600 shield, 100 frail. Alright, increase your speed. The longer you're on the field. Take flight. The first time you're reduced below 50% max HP, redirect any enemies targeting you to their next target and gain Hidden. Passive ability. Deal 50% piercing attack damage. Shouldn't be a huge problem either. I think this time around I do want to go back to focusing my damage on the top line. I can leave the Bard. Am I okay with the Warlock being attacked by the Nightwood Imp? I think that's fine. We have AoE healing. Splitting the damage seems like a good thing. And it's not like this guy does a ton of damage either. Bard got taken out. Not quite sure by what. I can't look what how the enemy did, which enemy did the damage and stuff like that. Only for my team, sadly. At least as far as I'm aware. Yeah, maybe the piercing damage we take on the backliners starts to become a problem. I do like the life-giving chamber, but it's also not a ton of extra healing and stuff, so... we'll see. Manticore. Each 30% of your HP... Each time 30% of your HP is lost, deal 100% attack damage to all enemies and stun them for 2 seconds. Should be fine. Mortal Sting, remove a positive effect, apply a poison. We just use the Enchanter's Chainmail. You have to max for it to be good. That makes sense, yeah. 75% HP to every run then. What else could we use on the board if we don't want to use what he currently has? Speed doesn't matter. Immunity to silence does if we have to deal with silence. Starting MP. You know what? We could use the Hex. Hex bag. Think this should go well. The Juggernaut should be able to tank the Manticore pretty easily. And with the poison immunity from the Enchanter's Chainmail, that boss fight should be no problem at all. Although the damage on the Juggernaut was scary. I think we take the gold again. I have another ability orb. Do I want to use it? I probably want to sell it and buy an upgrade instead. Carrion spawn, 3 of these. 50% piercing damage. They will spam that pretty quickly. Their normal attacks don't matter as much. I'm gonna go with the Wail of the Holy Mother on the Frostmancer then. Spreading out the damage across multiple targets should be fine. Actually, no, I don't want the Warlock to get attacked. Like this. Ropes of Absorption. Steal 2 MP from attackers. Probably not that good. Unstable Orb. 10 starting death, 10 death. Attackers have a 15% chance to receive a minor curse. That's a pretty low chance. Not quite as good as the Fool's Crown. Another Tundra Talisman. That could be something if I, for some reason, can't use any of my other items. So let's see. The Deathbringer again, Reverberating Bulwark. No, we don't deal damage that way. We have our damage engine. I'm mostly interested in upgrading our... what do you upgrade to? 30 seconds? Not that important. An upgrade on the Scourge of Wastes would be decent. Any adjacent enemies? Immunity to Doom seems unnecessary. The Oaken Knot becomes quite a bit stronger, as does the Holy Charm on upgrade. You know what, let's sell this orb. I think we can also sell the Champion's Guard. I kind of want to upgrade the Warlord's Burden all the way to the max. And go back to using that on the Frost Mage. It's a little scary. But with the Bard starting with 45 MP, we should have a heal ready pretty early. What else? We can sell the Royal Arbalest, the unupgraded version. Probably the damage numbers on these potions don't matter too much. Oh, that gave us an achievement. I hoped it would. I remembered that achievement from looking through them. You have to sell an orb and 2 potions at the same merchant. I think we are not going to use the Salem Shadow Boots anymore. We can upgrade a few more items. Maybe we want to get a frozen shell upgraded to the max. Or the holy charm. Either of those. I'm gonna get the holy charm upgraded. And the mana spring amulet. I want you to use more spells. I'm also gonna get an upgrade on the Scorch of Wastes. The final upgrade is on all enemies instead of adjacent. You know what? That's actually good. Helps us spread more frost around. Probably should sell the Tundra Talisman and you know what? This thing as well. So we can get one more upgrade on the other Tundra Talisman. That makes the Bard immediately cast, which is not a bad thing considering his healing is a heal over time effect. Fornigate. We should have looked into this thing. Subgrades. Oh well. We spent our money. We can buy a Royal Remedy potion. All enemies are poisoned for 50 damage every 3 seconds. It's actually pretty good in a pre-final boss fight. If that one stays the same. Which I assume, but it might not. Oh, yeah, I could have rerolled that. I forgot that it is an option. Think I want to switch the tanks around. The brawler on this side. Or maybe not. No. The Juggernaut is probably the better long-term tank than the brawler. The brawler is better early. Juggernaut becomes better once his ability activates. So I think this is the formation we want to run with. Any specific things I need to address? There is Doom. So I might have to move the Noble Ward over to you. That should be fine. Maybe I have to dispel a Doom. Yep, I'm gonna dispel some Doom. That maybe wasn't needed, but your attacks deal an additional 35% attack damage. No. Active ability deals piercing attack damage. No, we don't want these attack damage things. I'll take the gold stash, even though I don't have a chance to spend the gold anymore. So I probably shouldn't have. But it doesn't matter that much. The Balrog spawn again. Attackers reduce their speed by 2% and increase their active ability cost by 2. That is annoying. Especially the ability cost thing. Lava Plume to your target and an enemy directly behind or in front of them. Yep. And it's burn damage, right? So we switch you over. We won't have that much freeze. You will get the Fool's Crown. Gives you a high amount of HP, so you get a lot of healing from the Bard. Especially with the Holy Charm. And you're immune to burn, so the Lava Plume won't bother you too much. Base DPS of this boss is pretty low, so most of the damage actually comes from the Lava Plume. And if we prevent a burn, that shouldn't be a big deal. Let's switch in a potion just in case. We won't use the Royal Remedy here, that's for sure. We don't need the Silence or the Ruin that much, so let's just go. Yeah, this fight is a joke. We hard countered that one a long time ago. Blade of the Fallen as a start of combat gain Divine for 5 seconds. Tempting. Reduces the incoming damage quite a bit. Necrophage. Your attacks apply Leech to your target. Leech attackers are healed for 10% of the attack and active ability damage they deal to you. That could work, but we're not dealing a lot of attack or active ability damage. We're mostly dealing avalanche damage. Like, that's like what? Like 60% of our damage at least. So yeah. Ragnarok, every 9 times you attack, deal 250% attack damage to all enemies and apply burn. That is also a good build around item, but we already have our carry item with the Avalanche. I think that if anything, Plate of the Fallen makes the most sense. We might use that against the final boss. And the final area, we get an additional boon here, like 250 HP, 30 attack. That's actually quite good. Avalanche will probably wipe out one side. Well, no, they share their HP, right? So there's no wiping out one side. They apply leech to all the enemies hit, enemy directly behind, so we should move things over. Warlock will always heal themselves, so they're probably the best one to be in the same line as someone else. Split all damage taken among all overwriting limbs. And he's just slowly reducing our max HP. But that's all he does. So don't worry too much about that. The main problem is, if anything, gonna be the leech. So the noble ward is good. Bottom line will be wiped out much faster. So let's use the better tank on the top line. I'm gonna give you the Plate of the Fallen, so we don't have to deal with the early damage. There will be a lot of frost around, so these frozen shells should actually be quite solid in this fight. I don't think this is gonna be any problem whatsoever. Yeah, look at them go. Yeah, I should have leveled skills with my orbs, but pristine. Got an achievement. Astronarch. Yeah, you reveal your... well, you absorb the essence, and then we need to kill you to actually kill the evil. Let's use our orbs. This one goes on the Juggernaut for better defense. This one goes on the Brawler, or maybe the Frostmancer. No. Still, Frostmancer doesn't do really much with their ability. We want to switch you over. I think we might give you the plate. No. No. This will be a bit of a longer fight. We can't just destroy them with the... we can't just destroy them with the Avalanche as easily. I'm gonna go with Arcane Stable. No, actually the healing over time will be good against this enemy because she equalizes the HP of all targets. So yeah, the Oaken Nod is gonna be good. You know what? Life-Giving Chamber on the Brawler should give us a decent amount of extra HP to deal with. How's your base DPS? 250? We could reduce that a lot if we use the Reverie Totem of the Frostmancer, but I don't think that's really necessary. Anything else? Bottle Blizzard? Yeah, that is really good. You don't heal, so the Ruin is not gonna be important. The Silence probably either. You don't debuff. So let's use these potions and just chuck them all at the start. Oh yeah, no, we should have kept the cure-all because of the revenge. The revenge is actually the main problem here. But we seem to be handling it fairly well. The Brawler actually did a decent amount of damage with their ability mostly. Once they get going. But yeah. We have succeeded on another run. Corruption has been vanquished. Corruption 2 unlocked. Outlaw unlocked. 2 defeats this time around. But we still ended with 79 morale. Yeah, that was very successful. Let's take a look at the Outlaw and their abilities. Just so we know what they do. Oh, we have apparently also unlocked the Blood Mage. Let's take a look at the Outlaw first. Outlaw. HP is more like on backline on the level. High attack, but slow attack speed. Defense is a bit higher than like on the mages and stuff. But still not great. Pocket Sand. The first time you are reduced below 50% max HP. Redirect any enemies targeting you to their next target. Heal for 15% max HP over 10 seconds and gain hidden. So you're kind of a temporary tank. Put you in front, you get targeted a bunch, then you gain hidden and can't be targeted. So that seems really nice. Toxic Bolt. Deal 100% attack damage and poison your target for 50% attack damage every 3 seconds. When your target is defeated, any poisons from this ability are transferred to your next target. So they want attack. They don't care too much about attack speed. They just want high attack, so their poisons are strong. And they want to be in the front. Having higher HP makes them heal a bit more once they activate their Pocket Sand, but that's not really the main point of them, I don't think. But the more HP they have, obviously the longer they can tank before Pocket Sand activates. Sounds like an interesting character to play with. Let's take a look at the other one we unlocked, the Blood Mage. Transfusion. Well, let's look at the stats first. HP 650, that's a bit higher than like the Frost or Pyromancer. Or like the Wild Mage also has 650. The Wild Mage is the semi-tank. Defense also 30 like the Outlaw. Attack is also quite high. Attack speed is also quite slow. What's your MP cost? 60. Okay, that's actually really low. Blood Mage. Lose 5% of your current HP every 2 seconds. Heal the weakest adjacent hero for the amount lost. If you are the weakest, damage your target for the amount lost. But you still lose HP. Okay. Mirror Pain. Deal 150% attack damage and 20% of the damage you have taken this combat to your target. Heal for the damage dealt. Resets damage taken. Resets damage... Heal for the damage... No. 20% of the damage you have taken this combat. And then it resets that damage. Okay, that makes sense. So... this guy really wants high HP. And... maybe quick cast, but that's not really important. With the Mirror Pain, they do transfer their high HP into damage to a certain degree. And they do heal a decent amount. But this guy really wants both of their abilities to be upgraded, I think. Well, it depends on what upgrades on the Mirror Pain, but I assume the Transfusion really wants to be upgraded. 5%, 32 healing every 2 seconds isn't bad. Yeah, who else have we not used yet? We haven't used the Ronin yet. Bleeding and the Rising Gale, we've looked at them. Wild Mage we haven't used yet, with the Barrier and the Wild Burst. Yeah, I like the 2 new characters I have unlocked. Corruption 2, start with 0 gold. Oh, we usually start with gold, I didn't pay attention to that. But no longer. We will no longer start with extra gold. We can also see the ones we have cleared with do get their auras, like slightly right now. With some music notes, some snowflakes, some red mist stars. Who was our final one? The warlock? Ah, bones. Yeah, still very interested in this game. This was a very different run than the last one we did, but I still liked it a lot. The Avalanche was really strong, very overpowering, especially considering we got it very early and with a Frostmancer in the party, so that was like the optimal setup. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the run too, and I hope to see you guys again tomorrow.